Alright. Stuff fired up here. Where's the patient? I believe this is the patient here. Got a 20 let's see what slot that's in. Slot 14. So 2015 A1466 MacBook Air, and the complaint is no power. Or liquid damage. Yeah, no power, liquid damage. So we're not going to turn this one off. I've already pulled the screws off the bottom, so we're going to go ahead and pop the bottom off real quick. I can tell you from the smell, it smells like coffee. And as you can see, it's a bit of a mess. Yeah, it stinks. Does not smell good. Yeah, I unhooked the battery already. I just kind of took a look, but this board is severely seen a lot of liquid, as you can tell. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and pop the battery out. We'll wipe the battery down. See if we can get some of this smell. It smells kind of like sour milk or coffee, or like some kind of coffee. It does not smell pleasant. This board is definitely going to get an ultrasonic cleaning, I'm sure. So without further ado, we're just going to pull this thing apart, get to work and get it running. I don't know if it has any active liquid going on, but I'm not going to plug it in right now, just in case. It seems pretty dry. Nice and sticky. Yeah, that's pretty awful. Apparently they didn't get the memo that electronics and liquid do not mix very well. Let's see if we can just wipe off some of this stuff off the battery. Make it look a little more presentable. Not sticking down on the backlight cover for the keyboard. So only are we performing a janitorial job, but we'll probably be performing liquid logic board repair, liquid damage logic board repair. We'll inspect the board after this. Just kind of trying to get some of that sticky stuff off. Check the battery connections too and make sure they're not all corroded. And once we're done with this, we'll do a thorough test, series of tests on this to make sure it's running in tip-top shape. So that already looks better. Just get some of the sticky stuff off. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but at least we'll get all the majority of, if not all of the sticky stuff out. Then we'll wash the bottom cover and stuff too. Yeah, battery cleaned up pretty nice. I don't see any corrosion on the battery tabs or the battery plug, so battery should be okay. I would imagine. Touchpad might be a different story. Yeah, we got all sorts of nasty stickiness here. We'll give it another wipe down before we close it. After we're done, see if we can fix the board. My only concern right now is if the logic board is... Major concern is if the logic board's repairable. Should probably check the keys too and make sure there's no sticky keys. Yeah, we'll be checking everything. Probably almost definitely going to need a new touch pad. At least cable. Let's try the... Yeah. The keyboard's pretty crunchy. I mean, none of them are sticky. They all bounce back when you touch them nicely, so... Spacebar is a little soft on the return, but it works. It clicks. It's workable. We can give the customer the option, of course, to replace that if they want. It's oof. That looks horrible. So yeah, that touchpad cable is definitely not going back. See if we can get the microscope camera on. So that's pretty so we're getting to focus here. So that's pretty damaged. Yeah, we'll go ahead and replace that. I'm sure the touchpad's not going to work either. Is there any corrosion on that? Let's see. The touchpad might have been spared. We'll go ahead and pull the keyboard ribbon. Yeah, I don't see any corrosion on the circuitry on the touchpad or on the keyboard cable itself, so yeah. I can't see with my fat fingers in the way. But I mean, that looks acceptable. It looks nice and dry. There's nothing on there. And the end of the touchpad cable that plugs into the touchpad looked okay. It didn't have any signs of corrosion on it, unlike the logic board side. Try to put that back in. Otherwise I'm going to forget to do it later. And I'm going to wonder why my keyboard's not working. Alright. Let's switch back over. It's overhead for now. We're going to get all the screws and everything out of here. SSD is going to need to be cleaned off as well. It's a little sticky. I don't know if it's got... Yeah, it's got some sticky stuff on the bottom of the contacts. We'll definitely have to clean that off. Might be okay. We'll see. Here, I'm going to go ahead and continue to pull the board out. Oh man, that is not good. I don't like what I'm seeing there. Oh, it's just dirty. There's nothing burnt. Here, I'll go to scope cam so you can kind of see what I'm looking at here. See that? None of them are burnt. They're just, it's just got stuff on it. And I mean, the pins on the outside might actually be burnt or corroded. Oh, yeah, might be alright. Might just be able to clean it. I mean, most of this board just needs to be ultrasonicked. Man, that looks horrible. Like, that's definitely gonna go. We're gonna bin that cable. Alright, we're gonna go back to overhead again. I'll pull the board out and we'll do our typical full board visual inspection to see what we're up against here. May have bitten off more than I can chew tonight. It is pretty late and I'm tired. I don't want to do this. But you make promises and you gotta keep them. So, like it or not, we're doing this. Not sure how long of a video it's going to produce, but it could be a half an hour, it could be 2 hours, who knows. Hoping it's not 2 hours. I'll be cutting into my sleep. It's a bit of a nightmare to get out. We're going to have to check all the connectors too, make sure none of them are burnt, have burnt pins or anything, because it'll cause problems later. I mean, even the camera cable's gotten stuff on it. Oh, this board is stuck down. Hey, you hear that? That is not what you want to hear when you're pulling a board out of these machines. Is the logic board stuck to the backlight film, or the film that's covering the keyboard backlight? Oh my goodness. What did you get yourself into, Tim? What did you get yourself into? Look at that. All that green corrosion. All this green corrosion all right here. I mean, this thing is devastated. Oh boy. I guess I should have opened this before I decided to do a video. pull a Wi-Fi card out. 'Cause this thing isn't even turning on. It's not gonna get Wi-Fi. All right, let's assess the damage, shall we? So we can see that capacitor right there's. I gotta adjust my scope stuff here. So if that's clear to me, it should be clear to you. Is that a crack? No, just hair. So we got corrosion all in there. It's got liquid damage. A lot of places like this thing is going to need to be ultrasonicked. Definitely ultrasonic because it's like no corrosion, but it's just green stuff all in this connector that needs to be cleaned out. So we'll address any corroded components and replace them, but then we're gonna ultrasonic this board and get it nice and clean. See if I can zoom out a little bit here. Up a little higher. It's disgusting. I mean, they're a little gray up top, but it's shiny silver down at the bottom. So those might be okay. Those capacitors are a nightmare to replace because they're right behind the Wi-Fi connector. Can't use hot air right there, you'll melt that. Backlight circuit looks okay there. Definitely have to probably replace that cap. Connector looks okay on the outside. Yeah, I mean, this thing just had coffee spilled all over it. I think it was coffee or tea or something, I don't know. It stinks, I can tell you that much. Our 3V42 area looks okay, it's just dried up coffee or tea. More dried up coffee or tea. I mean, this thing definitely can benefit from a thorough ultrasonic. More green stuff between caps, but that's, like I said, that'll come off with the UC, so doesn't concern me. Mainly I'm just looking for stuff that's like components that are actually corroded. So maybe their battery died before it could really destroy everything on the board. Man, whew, stinks. Super sugary. This is going to be a sugary board repair. Yeah, it's all dry, which is good. And that's like gummy. Seeing a little bit of nastiness here. May have problems with our PP bus. Or no, not our PP bus, our charging circuit. This cap looks a little dingy. We'll probably replace him. Here we go. Yeah, that's gotta go. That'll need to get replaced probably. It's kind of disgusting. Well, the leg might be intact still. If I can get any alcohol on this and clean it off. Yeah, those legs are still pretty silver. It should be alright. Yeah. It's just dirty. That leg broken. Oh, that leg might be gone. Let's pull the camera off the table here and see if we can zoom in closer. Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Oh, yep, he's got to go. You can see that leg in the middle is not connected no more. Should be connected right there. Should be connected to that. Okay, so we'll definitely replace that. Those seem pretty solid still, so I don't know if we'll replace those or not. Like I said, the top's up here a little gray, but down here it's still kind of silver, so they're still attached. This guy looks bad. We'll probably replace him just as a matter of course. Yeah, we'll replace this big capacitor here. Is that not focused? I don't know. So we'll replace that. Probably replace those four. We'll just replace all these up here, all these caps to here. Probably gonna have to replace our backlight driver. SMC area doesn't look too bad. We got this resistor right here that's gonna need to get replaced. Cause that's definitely not looking good. This is not my camera's not wanting to play nice tonight. I'm gonna have to mess with the Amscope software. I'm gonna disable this. Hold on just a second. Back to overhead. We're gonna turn off the scope camera real quick. Oh wait, no, we gotta turn it on. There we go. There we go, that looks better. Still a little blurry, but the lights. The light looks okay. Alright, we're probably just going to do what we can to get this board running tonight, and then I'm going to ultrasonic it tomorrow and test and everything, because it's getting pretty late and I don't want to stay up super late. We're going to need to replace our backlight driver. Yeah, the feedback ball is most certainly gone, I bet. Well, looks like it's intact. May reflow it. Yeah, looks like it's on okay shape. May just reflow that. I don't even know if this board turns on or not right now. It's more sticky and nasty than anything. I don't see any real super corroded components. We got a few little things that we can replace to tidy the board up, you know, tidy it up that much better. But I mean, even this resistor is still got silver. So I probably wouldn't replace that. I may touch that joint up, but not gonna go crazy. We're going to get rid of all of our hints here. Yeah, I'd say just a few things need to be fixed up. Let's check our DCN plug and see if it's got stuff inside of it. No, it looks okay. Let's see. Looks okay. Probably just needs to be UC'd. We're definitely not going to get a green light on the charger right now, given the shape that the left side I/O board or the DCN connector is looking. Make it a fan spin, I don't know. It's kind of sticky right there too. Let's have a look on the side of that. Yeah, it's all sticky. I mean, this thing could really benefit from a dip in an ultrasonic bath for a few minutes. I'd say, judging from what we've seen so far, it'd probably be okay to plug it in and see if it works. Got the power supply running. get our DC in board here. We're not going to plug in the I/O cable though, because that's connector's pretty dirty. So we're not going to get a light on the charger, but we may get fan spinner. Yep, this board's working. Let's plug a USB in and see if we've got brain activity here. That sounds crunchy. Let's see. I'm going to gently flip the board over so you can see if the red LED is blinking. Oh, if you can see that red LED blinking. Can you see that? That means this board's working. It's got brain activity. So it's working. She's just a little dirty, needs a little touched up. This might be one of those boards where you just no, I can't see this yet. I've got to fix this stuff. We're going to replace all these capacitors, and we're going to replace this cap here, all these caps. All those joints are still silver. Just got stuff on top of them, so I'm not gonna desolder this Thunderbolt IC or anything. Just a little dirty. This board would thoroughly benefit from a ultrasonic cleaning. Oh, yeah, we definitely have to do some repair though. We're going to replace these two caps. This thing definitely needs to be replaced, this chip, because it's got that middle leg missing. See if this is silver. Yeah, it's silver down here, so I probably won't replace that. I mean, yeah, I could, but it's going to be fine. Yeah. You can see it's still silver. Like once it goes through the UC, that should shine back up just fine. So it's not really dull and gray. You can't even see what I'm doing. Awesome. That's great. I was pointing at this capacitor right here. It's still silver. Oops. That's breaking off. Alright. We're going to turn on the noisy hot air, or the noisy fume extractor. And get to work and changing components on this board. quickly. Alright. Where are my 00165 donors? Right here. Got tons of them. All these machines want to do is die. Where are we going first? I think we'll start with that guy. Probably end up ultrasonicking this logic board, and then testing and everything, and then looking under the microscope again and seeing if there's anything else that needs to be replaced. Probably a bit excessive to get rid of these two capacitors, but replace them, but that's okay. Usually just dribble some fresh leaded solder on there until I feel all the crunchiness gone, the grittiness, if you will. That's pretty much it. You have nice shiny clean pads. Like that. Nice and shiny. I know it's kind of blurred out or washed out because my camera and everything is not perfectly set up. There you can kind of see it now. You can see nice and shiny solder pads. Same with this. I think we'll go ahead and flux this. Flux these two. Put some solder on there. Just like that. Here we go. That guy fresh with 6 fresh legs. Cool. Got him done. That guy. Down here and do these capacitors. All these Q-tip fibers everywhere. Alright. Some more flux, kind of flow these guys into place. Alright. Good enough for my taste. Oops. Call those done. Probably not necessary to clean this off with IPA because it's going to get ultrasonic, but guess it's a way to inspect my solder joints, which are fine. Gosh, adjust the camera like a millimeter and it goes out of focus. Like, what's going on here? All right. Moving on. We're going to replace you, all of you, you. I think that's it. Maybe touch you up. It's hard to believe our SMC works. All this nastiness around it. I think it just touched the top of it because it was upside down. I don't think it actually got underneath. But we'll find out when we test. We're probably gonna put some heat on that. Now this board is definitely a candidate for ultrasonic bath. Those caps were probably good, but you know what? The ends of them didn't look great, so they're getting replaced. Board is hot. Forget about our big spot down here. This rusty crap. We're going to go ahead and retin these with lead, with 6337 lead, tin lead solder. So we can just put them all back on in one go. Alright. I'll position the board where you can see that, and I'm going to take the stuff I need off the donor board and replace it. These ones are kind of tricky because they're in such close quarters. What I'll probably do is just touch up the joints so that way they'll stay in place and won't fly off because I'll have surface tension. A liberal amount of solder on there so they won't fly off. If I accidentally bump one, which I inevitably will, because I'm doing this messed up way, I should be holding the capacitors long ways, but that's okay. I'll be careful. Carefully. Oops. See if we can get them all to line up like a nice little straight line. Probably good enough. Alright, we've got 2 more customers. Okay. Whoop, you can't even see what I'm doing there. Basically just put these guys in place. Touch their joints up, make them all shiny and new. We're going to cook up stuff around our backlight driver for a minute. Just kind of clear anything out of there. There we go. Just heat them up and bump them real quick. Yep. Solder balls are all nice and shiny now. Nice and silvery, so we cleared out all the gunk. Sure, that backlight driver's probably fine. You see them solder balls? Yep, they're nice and silvery now. Cool. Nice and shiny. Make sure we have a nice backlight when we're done on our LCD. Just gonna kind of clean some of this flux off of here. Crap. It's dirty. This board is just really dirty. This board needs a bath. Clock crystals. Or not our clock crystal, a crystal for SMC. So just gunk all over the board. Just kind of poking around to see if I see anything else that really sticks out. And that stuff's all caramelized whatever. Probably come off when I ultrasonic the board. Probably have a backlight now. Those look good. Just all this junk everywhere. This is probably going to be one of those boards where I ultrasonic it and inspect it again after, just to make sure there's nothing that I missed that's corroded. So we replaced that little guy there. So this is more of a janitorial job than a troubleshooting job, which is fine as long as the outcome's the same, right? As long as we have a working board when it's all said and done, that should be good. Yeah. All this stuff will come off in the ultrasonic. It's going to be one of those boards that I have to change my fluid after because it's so sticky and gross. Not really seeing anything else component wise that's falling off. Alright, what do you say we plug it back into the chassis, see if we get a flashing question mark folder. And if so, we'll pop her into the UC tomorrow. Get it cleaned up and ready to go. All that stuff should clean up out of there too. It's all just... I mean, the alcohol and toothbrush isn't going to clean that as well as the ultrasonic will. I bet you we may even get a charge light now. Maybe. Maybe. It's not corrosion, it's just stuff. Schmutz. Just dried green. Hit this baby with the UC bath. It'll be good. Oh, I forgot about this little cap here. Should we replace that one? I'm going to say no because this is all silver down here. It's just the top is kind of gray. But all this on the side is all silver, so it's probably still soldered. It's just a little dirty. Alright, let's put this filthy thing into the chassis real quick and see if we have a nice backlit flashing question mark folder so we can go to bed. We've been at this video for an hour already, so go ahead and go to overhead. Throw all this stuff out of the way. Grab our chassis. Let's check our LCD cable because that's really the only thing we're going to plug in. Yeah, our LCD cable looks fine. There's no green or liquid signs. Should wipe out the inside of this, all this sticky stuff though. Try to clean that up a little bit before I go sticking the board back in. We're gonna have to check all these cables too, like the keyboard backlight. Our camera cable's got a dirty pin, looks like. Yep. We're going to have to clean that really good before we hook the camera and stuff back up. So we'll just make notes of all that. Get all this nasty sticky stuff off here. Looks pretty good now. We'll give it Another thorough wipe down before we permanently install the logic board and everything. May need a new DC board too. This DC board doesn't look great. Let's see. It's got some rainbow colored test points, but doesn't look like it has any liquid contact. Obviously this board's going to need an ultrasonic bath before it gets permanently put back into this chassis, but we're going to do a quick fire up test and see if it works. I inspected everything on the LCD and cable and it's fine. There's no liquid damage there, so don't run the risk of shorting the LCD screen out. T5. Just hold the board in. This board is still filthy. We're going to go ahead and plug our... let's look at our DC cable. Our DC in jack. It's a little dirty. So I'm gonna use an external DCN. This one's got this DCN plug on the one inside the computer's got green stuff. And maybe I should plug this in and see if I get a green light since I cleaned that connector out a little bit. This computer really stinks still. We get the camera cable out of the way here. Get out of the way. This keyboard's a bit crunchy. It'll work. I'm sure it works. We'll test it and make sure it works. Alright. We're not going to do speakers either, so you're not going to hear a chime. I'll just read out stuff to you. So we have a light on the charger. Drawing 520 milliamps. See if I can lift this up and show you. See, we got an orange light on the MagSafe. Let's see if we got a backlight. Flashing question mark. There you go. Got a flashing question mark folder. And the backlight's working, as you can see. So we have a working board. So like I said, this is just more of a janitorial repair, like cleanup type of deal. I don't remember if the board turned on or not. I don't think I tried it, so I assume that it didn't power on, but yep. Other than that, we're going to thoroughly wipe this backlight film. We're going to wipe that down again. We're going to clean this computer really well. I'm going to clean that backlight stuff again. I'll clean the channel out where the bottom cover goes on. I'll clean the bottom cover. The battery looks pretty good. I mean, I wiped it off. It's still got some water spots. I don't know if I get those off, but I'll wipe that off again. Thoroughly inspect the pins. I mean, the backs of the pins are still nice and golden, so you know that tells me that corrosion didn't get into the battery connector really, but I'll double check that. once I UC the board really well and dry it, I'm gonna go through every connector and make sure there's no corroded pins. And if there is, we'll replace that connector. So, but this is a working board. Working logic board. We're gonna make sure we clean this SSD really well too. The contacts are kind of a little dirty. They had sticky stuff on them, but we'll yeah, they still got a little something on them, but we'll definitely clean all that off before we put it back into the computer. And give it back. It's just got a little bit of corrosion. I may even just dip the pins into the ultrasonic. I won't drop the whole SSD in there. Sure, if you ultrasonic the SSD, it would be fine. All the chips and everything are all conformal coated, underfilled in, so they really won't get anything under them, even the controller. So we'll clean that, and then hopefully this computer will work again for the customer or for the owner. Got flux right there on my soldering mat. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video for at least entertainment value. It wasn't really educational. It was more just me putting up a video of me doing a little janitorial work that happens from time to time. Not every board we get requires troubleshooting. I'd say about 25 to 30% of the time it's just looking at the board visually and then seeing corroded things and replacing them, and most of the time the board comes back to life. And so anyway, this is Tim with Optimized Logic Repair signing off. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.